Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Worth Minds. I'm Deep, your host, and today's episode is one that I've been really looking forward to. You see, leadership is not just about strategy or results, it's about courage, empathy, and the willingness to challenge systems that no longer serve us. And today's guest is someone who embodies exactly that. She is the CEO of HR Rewired, a best selling author, a recognized voice in anti racism and equity in business, and a leader who's been reshaping how organizations think about culture and inclusion. Please welcome Shereen Daniels. Shereen, thank you for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Deep. I'm really happy to be here and I love the energy already. So I know this is going to be a great conversation.
Shereen, let's start right at the beginning. You've had a fascinating journey, from corporate HR leader to CEO to author to being recognized internationally for your work in anti racism and inclusion. When you look back, what was the moment that really set you on this path? The moment you realized you had to step into this kind of leadership?
I'd say it was a combination of moments. Working in corporate HR, I saw patterns, certain voices always being overlooked, certain talents not being recognized, and I couldn't just ignore it. Then, after George Floyd's murder in 2020, the world changed. Companies started calling me asking, how do we have these conversations? How do we change? And that's when I realized this is my lane. I can help leaders do the hard, necessary work of creating equitable workplaces.
That's powerful because a lot of people talk about change, but stepping up to lead it is different. In those early days of founding HR Rewired, did you feel fear or doubt? And how did you handle that?
Of course, fear was there, but courage is not the absence of fear, it's choosing to move forward anyway. For me, leadership has always been about authenticity and conviction. I knew that if I didn't use my voice, then silence would just allow the status quo to continue. So, yes, fear was there, but purpose was stronger.
I love that. Purpose being stronger than fear. Now, leadership can mean different things to different people. Shireen, in your own words, what does leadership mean to you today? And how has your definition evolved over time?
Leadership is about influence, about impact, and about responsibility. When I was younger, I thought leadership was about titles, authority, or being in charge. Now I see it's about service. It's about making tough calls, yes, but it's also about modeling values, creating spaces where others can thrive, and being accountable for the culture you create.
And when you look at leaders today, in business, politics, or culture, what do you think they're often missing when it comes to truly leading with courage?
I think what's missing is the willingness to be uncomfortable. Real leadership isn't always popular. It's about doing what's right, not what's easy. And if leaders only seek comfort, they'll never create lasting change.
That brings us to legacy, because at Worth Minds it's one of our three pillars. Legacy is about the mark you leave behind. Shireen, when you think about your legacy through HR Rewired, your book, your voice, what do you hope it will be?
I hope people will say, because of Shireen, leaders had the courage to talk about race. They didn't just talk, they acted, they created systems that outlasted individuals. My legacy, I hope, is that inclusion isn't a trend, it's embedded.
That's beautiful. And it also makes me think legacy isn't just about institutions, it's also personal. What kind of personal legacy do you want to leave for your family, your community, or even the next generation of leaders?
On a personal level, my legacy is about showing that you don't have to choose between success and integrity. I want my daughter and others to see that you can live authentically, build with heart, and still achieve great things.
Which takes us to our third Worth Minds pillar, luxury. Now, Shireen, luxury can mean different things to different people. For some, it's material. For others, it's freedom or peace of mind. In your journey, what does luxury mean to you?
Luxury to me is time, time to rest, time to reflect, time to be with loved ones. When you're building, speaking, running a business, your time is pulled in so many directions. But the real luxury is creating space to breathe, to be present, to enjoy life.
That's such a refreshing definition. Luxury as presence, not possessions. Do you feel like leaders today undervalue that side of life? And if so, how can they reclaim it?
Yes, many undervalue it. The hustle culture glorifies burnout, but the truth is, tired leaders can't inspire. Leaders need to protect their energy if they want to sustain their impact.
Shereen, I want to ask you this. If a young leader is listening right now, maybe someone just starting their journey, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them about leading with courage and building legacy?
I'd tell them don't wait for permission, lead where you are, influence where you can. And remember, your voice matters even if it shakes.
I love that on your voice matters even if it shakes.
Oh, plenty. One that comes to mind is when I was speaking at a conference and the slides froze on the funniest possible photo of me mid expression. It stayed stuck for a good 5 minutes while I kept talking. The audience laughed and it broke the ice. It reminded me not to take myself too seriously.
That's brilliant, and maybe also a great reminder that leadership comes with humility. Sometimes the best way to connect is to laugh with people, not just talk at them. Shirin, this has been incredible. Your courage, your clarity, and your commitment to legacy, they're inspiring not just for leaders, but for anyone who wants to make an impact. Thank you for being with us on Worth Minds.
Thank you, Deep. It's been such a great conversation.
And to all of you listening, let remember this. Leadership is about service, legacy is about impact, and luxury is about living with presence. This is Worth Minds. I'm Deep. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, keep leading, keep building, and keep creating your worth.